Hello and welcome to quite possibly the ugliest thing I've seen today. Because for 20 points in autumn you can own your very own BMW iX. Or if you want the long name, the BMW iX xDrive 50. By some absolute miracle, this thing is capable of 516 brake horsepower, 564 foot-pounds of torque, and weighs a whopping 5,534 pounds. Oh, and it's electric. So it looks ugly, and it's electric. Not off to a good start. Going to the inside, it's kind of a bit bland, really. I mean, you've got screens, and that's about it. But now let's go ahead and take a listen to the almighty, massive kettle. So here we are now over at the upgrade shop, and we'll jump over to motor and battery and see what we can get out of this thing's stock. We can go up to 687, up to 857, and then up to 1033 brake horsepower, and somehow still keeping it in A class. But there is one extra thing about this vehicle. We can go ahead and do a couple things. We can go ahead and put in a motor and battery swap, either from the 6,000 watts. 670 brake horsepower race motor, or the 1,893 Rimac engine, well, motor. So, oh god. And don't you worry, because it doesn't stop there. Going to more ridiculousness, there is a wide body kit for this thing. It's just kind of like the electric version of the Wheeling Sunshine at this point. Well, unfortunately, we have to work with this thing, so we're going to go ahead and take it to the top of A class. Yes, even with the wide body and a weight reduction, we can only take it down to 4,215 pounds. Oh, this is going to be like driving a warehouse. So after some upgrading, we've still got 516 brake horsepower, and this thing is a slightly lighter warehouse now. It looks a bit more like a garage at 4,897 pounds, and it only cost us 55,100 credits. Oh, building this thing was a mistake. Thankfully, the iX makes up for some disappointment by allowing us to tune its one and only gear, so we've got that. And now to the paints. Going for advanced, we've got nothing but a surprise, but now we've got a few manufacturer colours. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different colours for this thing. The blue's not too bad, but would have been better on a different colour entirely, or this thing would have been better off just not existing. But, you know, we're going to go ahead and roll with a white. You know, I think we're missing something on the side. Never mind, it's that bad, even the Forza servers don't want to work with it. I just realised this thing looks a bit like a stormtrooper. Okay, so now we have to set up to race this absolutely horrendous thing. It really shouldn't exist. I don't know what BMW were thinking at this point. I really genuinely don't know. And thankfully, I have been fortunate enough to never see this one in person. And how I usually say, I'd like to see these cars in person. Yeah, I think I'll pass on this one. And now away we go. Let's go ahead and see what we can do with this thing. It's a very, very slow launcher because I have tuned the single gear, because I totally didn't forget to do that and start racing and only get to 123 miles an hour. But let's go ahead and see what we can do with this thing with a proper set of tuning and hopefully some better quality, because I've started messing around with OBS, which I used to record these videos, and I've started using a little bit of a higher bitrate. So while my computer storage may be going down, hopefully my quality is going up. Okay, so this is a one turn where we usually catch up a lot of spaces. That's 1, that's 2, and almost 3. We're still currently stuck at 6th, which is not great. Never mind, make that 5th. 4th, 3rd, make that 2nd. And finally, make that 1st. Let's go! I honestly think I might start referring to this thing as the fridge, just because it looks like one. And I'm not going to lie, it kind of handles like one as well. Don't ask me how I know what a fridge handles like, but this thing definitely handles like one. I was going to say I'm surprised that Mini caught out quickly, but then I remember this thing, although it does have 500 horsepower, it's over 4,000 pounds in weight. Anyway, going around at the last turn, panging off the wall a little bit, and across the line we go. Somehow we've survived. How is beyond me, and how we ended up with the first place is even more beyond me. I wonder how many EV fans I'm going to angle this video. Okay, now we're back over at the upgrade shops. Let's go ahead and just take off the massive wide body kit just for a few moments, because we're going to go ahead and do the unthinkable and throw in the 1,890 odd horsepower electric motor, which takes this thing immediately up into S2. Oh dear God, what am I doing? Prepping it for drag racing is what I'm doing apparently, so we'll go ahead and throw it on the drag tyres right there, make sure they are wide enough. We've got a little bit of width at the front, and at the back we have got a pretty decent amount of width as well. Well, fully upgraded, we are now at 3,646 pounds and running a whopping 1,900 or thereabouts brake horsepower at 123,300 credits spent. Oh, this is very expensive. or 1,893 horsepower for that one person that got very, very angry that I wasn't being specific enough in my YouTube comment section. Okay, so now here we are right next to the festival, but first let's go ahead and see, can we get a wheelie check out of the electric fridge? Nah, didn't think we would. And now here we are over at the edge of the drag strip, so let's go ahead and see what we can do, and away goes the fridge. I was going to do a countdown, but we honestly don't need to bother. I don't know what that person back there was doing, but anyway, away we go, doing 180, 190, do we get 200? We get 200. Okay, 219 through the camera, and what do we get off here? 250 off the edge of the runway. In this. What? Okay, now I'm very, very confused. This is an absolutely ugly looking box, but damn, does it shift? It does, it is really quick. And now we've got to go ahead and prep this thing for a top speed test. So I don't know what we're going to get out of this thing, but I presume it's going to be quick. However, before we even go anywhere, here's the Storm Season Forza shop. We've got the Koenigsegg Regera, we've got the Robot Emote, we've got the Lab Coat, the 570 S Coupe from McLaren, the Horizon Wheelspin, and the Horizon Super Wheelspin. Okay, so now here we are over at the edge of the motorway. We've gotten past a Ford Fiesta with a bike on the roof, but now let's go ahead and see what we do in 3, 2, I'm not using numbers, let's just go. If this thing does 300, I think I'm gonna scream. And out of the speed zone at 276.10. Out of this! Oh, we still have the downhill and speed camera to go, but 276 out of this thing, that is nuts. And there's our camera, 280.36, going back downhill, 282, 283 out of this thing, which is absolutely insane, but that is our top speed, and we nearly fell off the bridge, oops. 283 out of this. This of all things. I know it's a Rimac engine swap and all, but come on, that is nuts. And now we have got the unenviable task of trying to drift the almighty house fridge, which is going to be absolutely nuts, but let's go ahead and see what we can do. We are very, 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 very sideways, and 43,224 points, and only a slight dent to the back of the car. What is this? Now here we are going back the other way. There's another car up here, so let's go ahead and see if we can annoy them by just drifting a massive fridge past them. Can we get past the bridge without hitting it this time? Kind of, yes. And 38,566 points. Now, while this thing in Forza is pretty fun because you can go ahead and throw a Rimac engine into it of all things, it still doesn't completely sway my opinion on electric cars, but this thing is a little bit absolutely crazy. So if you want to go ahead and pick one up just for the sake of being able to say you've got this thing at it does 280, 283, whatever, go ahead and pick one of these up. It's only 20 points and might just be worth your time. But in the meantime, that is it for me. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you all in the next one. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Check out. See ya. $283 out of a mini fridge. Not bad.